Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masterverse Wave 11 action figure, our very first Revolution action figure, which we will not see that series on Netflix until next year, 2024 sometime, but we already have a sneak peek of what it'll be like, because we remember the last episode of Revelation, Teela came back, got involved in the saga with her mom, and as we believe, the Sorceress of Grayskull passed on, or at least it seems like she passed. We have the successor, her daughter, Teela, Sorceress Teela. And so at the end of the series, we got a glimpse of her, of course, fighting with Dark Lynn, Evil Lynn. So here we have the first ever Sorceress Teela action figure. And that's what we're looking at today. We've already covered Man-at-Arms if you want to check him out, but there's this new packaging that they come in looking phenomenal. I like the new packaging. You have the artwork, as we said, on the front. You have some artwork on that bookend like we've been seeing. The artwork continues to wrap around on this side, and then see kind of like the shadow of her mom, the sorceress there. And then you have like a digital render of the action figure on the back, along with some, you know, things that she comes with in these boxes. Then you have like a small little story, not necessarily a bio, but a little clip of a story here, if you want to pause and read that. But there you have it, and there's the action figure inside. You see there's a barcode on the bottom, so that covers the box, other than the fact we have that new Masterverse logo, similar to the 40th anniversary He-Man box. But there we have that, and let's go ahead and break her open and check her out. I know technically, I guess the sorceress is not supposed to leave Grayskull, but we're gonna look at her in the palace today like we did Man-at-Arms. Let's go over here and check her out. Once again, we have gathered inside of the Palace of Eternia to check out another action figure in Wave 11, and here is Sorceress Teela. Let's take a look first at her accessories. First of all, looking at Teela's hands, she comes with a set of, I would say, casting a spell or some kind of, you know, gesturing style hands here, and they are definitely unique. I think they're probably the same ones we got with our Revelation Sorceress, but we'll check that out. But they are both horizontally hinged. And then we have Teela with a set of gripping holding hands and this bird staff, very similar, if not exact, to the one we got with the Revelation Sorceress. And again, we'll look at that. This cape, I'm not sure if it's removable yet, but you see you have a soft goods cape that comes down to some feathery looking design on the bottom. It doesn't stretch out as far as some of the capes that we have been seeing in the Masterverse line, but that is a look at our Sorceress Teela. Now let's take a closer look and do her articulation. Alright, to take a closer look at our Sorceress Teela here, let's take a look at this head sculpt first. She's very serious, looking really cool. And look at the hair coming down the back. She went from short hair to long hair quick. Something about this transformation. You know what I'm talking about if you watch the Revelation series. She has a red jewel here in her bosom area. Even sculpted in here some abs, it looks like, which is really cool. You can just like see them through the dress, which that's neat. The feathers even kind of come out alongside of her deltoids here, shoulders. Still has some muscle tone under those bands. She has these blue gauntlets with gold trim on both sides. Like we said, these are horizontally hinged on both sides here. You see that bird staff that she has. You have the front there, the feet on the ball there, and then on the back you have the back end of the bird, the tail feathers there, right? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side, and let's go ahead and switch out these hands, or one of them I should say. And you have kind of an extension out over the palm, over the back of the palm there. So let's go ahead and pop that in. It's a good size peg. So you can kind of see how that looks. That's really neat. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out this articulation. She's really not going to be able to look up because this hard, stiff hair back here, she's not going to be able to look up at all, really. You might be able to adjust a little bit the diaphragm, but really you're not going to be able to look up at all. She doesn't really have a lot of looking down either. That's about as much of a shift that you're going to get right there. And very little movement there. And even looking side to side is going to be hindered because of the hair. Matter of fact, when you do that, it's going to kind of make her gesture downward because it's going to run into the shoulders. So the head articulation is pretty hindered. Let's go ahead and see if we can pop this head off and see if any of this is removable very quickly. Okay, so after removing the head, I have found out that this top part here is not removable, so there's not going to be any way unless you break glue somehow or another to get that cape off. So the cape is here to stay on that. So that answers that question. And you can also kind of see why the head articulation is so rigid. That ball right there will not budge at all. It's not moving anywhere. So that's almost like just having a ball socket on the top with no movement in the neck at all. So only movement you could get is what it would be allowed to do up in the hole of the ball socket in her head. So that explains a lot why there's such a limit there. But moving on to her arms, she's going to be able to go out a full T-pose there, 90 degrees, and then she has bicep swivel. She's also going to be able to basically, even though you're going to have to get it around that, you know, shoulder pad armor there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be difficult. You're basically going to only need to be able to go up about that far and back about that far. It's not really going to carry you. I guess you could if you stretch that. Let's see. You could, yeah, I mean, you could do it, but it's going to have to basically come out all the way. But that's fine. That still looks good. And so you have the bicep swivel, the double jointed elbows, which come all the way to her face there. You could get those. And then also you can see again swivel and hinges at the wrists. All of these are horizontal in this particular set. So you can see that. All right, moving on to the diaphragm. She's going to be able to crunch forward about that far. She's going to be able to bend back about that far. So you're going to actually be able to get this top part a little bit out of the way so that you can see more of the ab sculpting in there. And then you see as it goes down. And this is another one of those figures that if you get your hands underneath the dress part, you still have the swivel at the waist underneath this skirt part. So it's still present there. And of course you still get side to side motion. So you're going to get about that much motion there at that abdomen. And you're still going to be able to turn at the abdomen as well. You're going to be able to rotate at the abdomen and at the waist if you can kind of get past the skirt part, which all this is rubber. It's a real soft gummy rubber that goes over her. So it's almost like this part, even since I've been messing around with her, this part has kind of stretched. And I'll show you kind of what I mean. Look at the abs very carefully there, the midsection. And then if I pinch, kind of like women do with their dresses, if I pinch right there, you see how much smaller it got? So this part does kind of swell out a little bit as it gets warm. And, you know, you could actually put a pinch back there and actually make her waist smaller. So that's what I was looking at. That's actually interesting. But as far as legs, she's not going to be able to really do full splits because it's going to stretch this rubber material. So that's about as far out as you're going to be able to get there. You'll be able to kick up a good amount because you still get the drop down method, which I forgot to mention that during Man-at-Arms review, but you see there's a drop down method. You see, you can't see the thigh cut, which it's there, but then when you pull down you can see it. So you see it shifts downward. I'll show you again. So you see it does that on both sides, and so you're going to only be able to, even after you pull down, you're only going to be able to go out about that far because again the rubber dress kind of hinders it. And then you're going to be able to get double jointed knees. You still have boot cut. You're going to be able to go full tiptoes, go up a decent amount. You have the peg hole and excellent rockers in those boots. And I like the gold trim even around the boot. That adds a little flair. You have the feathering still around the boots here, but then you have the gold trim around the boot toe and heel. So that's pretty cool. Very, very neat. And I believe this time that's all of the articulation on this figure. And I didn't leave anything out this time, I don't think. But just look at that soft goods, and you see underneath there you have some gold, and there's even some like wrinkle in that skirt part there, kind of simulated. But there you have the Sorceress Teela. All right, now let's do some comparisons. And here we are with our Revelation Captain of the Guard Teela, as well as when she found out about how she had been lied to all these years about who Adam was, and the fact that her mom was the sorceress, and she takes off the tiara, her hair falls down, and she's done. Look at her face. But you can see that there's a great similarity in the face. They've stayed true to the look of the face in each of these. You can tell that. There are the comparisons of our three Revelation Teelas that are in this style of white and gold. But then we have one more Revelation Teela to look at. And here she is with our more cyberpunk hairstyle Teela, which she had that cool outfit and more buff arms kind of highlighted here as she went out and did her own thing, kind of went on some adventures and scrapped around with Audrey to make money and do various adventures without magic, and to get away from her family and her father and the king and the palace, and get away from royal life kind of thing, and before she came back. So that was her there. You can look at my review on that Teela. She's a lot of fun. I think she's cool looking. And so you can see that the face sculpt still, you know, still stays true. They kept, I think, fairly close to the look of the Teela here. But then also we have a Classics Teela. One of the most popular Teelas is our Motu Classics. Back during the Matty Collector series, this one was early on, very limited articulation, but beautiful, beautiful head sculpt and body work, and just the overall outfit of this Teela was just really, really cool. So you can see them side by side. If it looks like that this Sorceress Teela is a little taller, that's just because I have her on these mirrors. It's just raised up a little bit, sitting on the other two. But they're pretty much the same size overall here, but really cool. And here is our Sorceress Teela next to our regular Sorceress, our Grayskull Sorceress from Revelation series. And you can see that, you know, the face sculpts are definitely different. This would be her mom, technically. Be Teela's mom. She inherits the powers and the position of being the protector of Castle Grayskull's secrets. So there is a Revelation Sorceress Teela, and you can definitely see that her cape, or her wings, or her feathery cape is wider and has the bands to go around her arms. We didn't get that with this Teela. just goes straight down her back and is much narrower, but still looks awesome. And then here are our classics Sorceress of Grayskull, the classics, the original classics sorceress there, and you can see the wand is very similar, a little bit more of a pearlescent shine to that one, a little bit more detail again with classics and the feathering on her outfit, and then those wings that were hinged on the arms, and then our more Club Grayskull Filmation style sorceress that looks very much like the Filmation. A little disappointed in the face, we've talked about that before, but beautiful, beautiful action figure. Looks simplistic, very Filmation cartoon accurate there. But there you have all of our Sorceress action figures in comparison here to our Sorceress Teela. And here she is beside Dark Lynn. And we remember them fighting it out at the end of the Revelation series. There's Dark Lynn in all of her muscular glory. Awesome action figure. Let's go ahead and turn her in this way. And let's see if I can do it without knocking her over. There we go. There they are side by side. You can see how much taller Dark Lynn is than our Sorceress Teela, but she hulked out when she got the powers of Grayskull. Dark Lynn did, but really cool Revolution action figure here. Well, actually both of these, I actually kind of got it wrong, I think, because I said earlier that this was our first Revolution action figure. Technically they were calling this a Revolution action figure too, but we know that we saw her in Revelation. Both of these really, but this is our technically first retail release of the Revolution action figures, and we get Sorceress Teela. So cool. And so here are our first two figures in Wave 11. We have our Man-at-Arms New Eternia Man-at-Arms along with our Revolution Sorceress Teela, and they are just really shaping up to look awesome. They do have the addition of the pull-down method of the legs from the thigh area to drop-down method. It's really cool. I forgot to mention that when I was doing Man-at-Arms, but just so cool. Just look at these figures, how they are looking so awesome together here. There's He-Man with a Hordak MX head sculpt. There's our Sorceress Teela, our Man-at-Arms. I have his mustache head with the alternate helmet, which I like better than the helmet he came packed in the package with. You can check out my review on him if you haven't already. There's our Ram Man, looking awesome. Our New Eternia Ram Man. And then I have our New Eternia Buzz Off with a Classics variant 2000X Mike Young production head sculpt on. There's our Orko. We should be getting a new Orko with a white outfit. I guess our glorified Orko that's come back from the dead kind of thing that looks like it's going to be another Revolution action figure with some really cool magic effects. So can't wait to get him. But thank you so much for joining us again for another Super Dave action figure review. We're enjoying these. Please come back and see us soon. Like if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe if you've not done so, comment if you have something to share, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Enjoy these photos in the photo gallery. Be blessed.